Hey guys, welcome out to the shop today. We're going to be working on a little jig today to help with trying to finish up this bookcase that I started months ago. I need to install the shelves and I want to make them adjustable, so I have to make some kind of jig for all the little holes for the side of it. Let's go ahead and get started. So for this build, I've got a 1x6. I have some screws, some smaller screws right there, and two different drill bits. They are the same size, just one is for metal, one is for wood, and then I also have some sheet metal that I'm going to be using. There are a lot of different things out there on the market. You have the Craig jig system out there for the shelf pins that would seem to work pretty good, but you would have to buy that. And if you have this, you can make it right in the shop the same day, and it's something simple that you can do. One of the problems though is that after you drill through the wood a couple times trying to make your holes, you can start hollowing out that hole. So what I want to try out, instead of just using wood, I want to try to put a sheet of sheet metal on the top of it to kind of help with the stability of your drill so that it's not actually walking all over the place, and hopefully your hole diameter will last a little bit longer. So here is the bookcase that I started a long time ago, and it's been sitting here in the shop. I want to get it finished. So what I'm dealing with, because I did not drill any holes beforehand, I have to make something to go the full distance from front to back. So my jig will be longer. It'll be almost 10 inches in length, and then I will have it spaced where the dowel pins are going to be 1 inch apart. So what I'm taking right now is the measurement from the front to the back, 9 1/4 inches. So here's my 9 1/4 inch piece, and I've labeled one side back because I want this to be what's going to hook onto the back of the bookshelf, and I want my pins to be 2 inches off of the back and 2 inches from the front of the bookcase. So I made a mark 7 1/4 and one at 2 inches. Now I'll take my square, I will come to these lines . So now I have my lines to where I can drill on, and then I want these to be spaced apart 1 inch from each other. So I will go ahead and take this and mark this as my top. That way I have a reference point. And I'm always drilling on the same side no matter what. So now I can come and take this, and I want 4 different holes, I believe. So I'm going to make one at 4. Four, 3, 2, and 1. Alright, so I have my drill press all set up, and what I have installed here is a 5/16 inch brad point bit, and the reason why I'm using the brad point bit is because I want it to be dead on for when I come down here. I don't want any kind of wiggle from the bits, and sometimes if you have a dull bit, it might move around too much. So that is what I have on here, is a brad point bit for right now. So let's get these all drilled out. So here is where I am throwing my twist into. I've got this little sheet of sheet metal here, and what I want to do is pretty much cut out a sheet of it to put onto this block of wood and see if it actually helps prolong the life of the holes. I don't know if it actually will or not, but that's what we're going to try. I'm going to be using these snips from Bessie. I haven't used them in a while, and I want to just try them out and see how they're doing. I went ahead and got all my holes drilled, and you can, if you need to, you can take a file and run over the edges of your piece real quick, just kind of knock any sharp edges down, round over the corners. You don't want the glue settle and dry in here, so I've got some paper towels. You guys can use straws, different things like that. Alright, so now let's go ahead and use this and try to see how well it does. First off though, when you go to do your holes, center them up. The way I had it designed, I could only use it on one side. So I went back, and this was 3/4 inches off the edge. So I did the same with this side. That way I could flip it over right and left, use it on both sides, get an exact measurement for what I need. So let's go ahead and show you how to use this. So the first thing that you need to do is get your measurement that you want to get, or for the height of the first part, which I'm going to be using the top of the block for this. So I'm going to measure from the inside, come down to 11.5 inches. And we'll get this all clamped down. This would be a lot easier with like a one-hand clamp, something like that. So I got that nice and flush. Alright, so the next part, I start drilling. I went ahead and marked my depth that I need with a piece of painter's tape. And then I have two 5/16 inch dowels right here. Now the point of having these dowels is to keep my alignment, so that as I'm drilling, nothing tries to shift off even though it is clamped. It's got these two pegs in here. These aren't going to go anywhere, so it makes for a solid base, and then I can do all the other ones. Here we are. Here is the first shelf installed in here, and we will do a quick check on it just to make sure that everything's square. That is 8 inches, and that side is 8 inches. So this is perfect off of the front, not even the top, so I'm glad that everything else is working out. So like that said, this is very simple. This is a real test on seeing how long this doweling jig will actually last. I have made some in the past out of pine before, and they just kind of get worn away very quickly, but hopefully using the outside part will help with the wobble of the bit and won't wear the inside out so much. I was even thinking about possibly putting a plate in on the inside, but having the screws wouldn't really allow that. So, I don't know. I think it's a good idea. You could even install bushings on the inside if you had the correct bushings. That is another option that is actually a pretty good option. If you could get a hold of a good resource where you could get the bushings, I would even try that out, getting some hardwood and then installing bushings in here for whatever size dowel you would like. So this is my shelf pin jig. I'm gonna hold on to this. I'll eventually get something wrote on here with dimensions and what pin this is supposed to fit. I really like this. I'm happy with how it turned out. You guys let me know what you think. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Go make your own. Remember, this can be any size. These pins can be really close together. Mine had to be really spaced far apart for the bookshelf. So now if I ever have to make another bookshelf, I already have a jig for it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next video.